After watching this video, we can know this video reported on an experiment about Tuskegee syphilis trio. According to the knowledge we learned in the module 10, before doing such experiment, we need to balance risk and potential benefits, and the researchers should know their disciplines very well for their experiment. We need to combine human experiments and animal trials. I think if you want to use human experiments, you need to do some pre-test on animals, and you will indicate how these things work on human body. But if you directly put this thing on human body, you just choose to ignore the risk which will bring to the human. Unfortunately, first, in this video, it told us they studied an untreated syphilis in African American men. It means that they do not know whether they can be cured or not. And in this video, we cannot know that research against the experiment at the animals. They cannot ensure this experiment safety for humans. What is worse, maybe they do not know the right treatment for people who infected by this disease. So even with some people found infected by this disease, the researchers do not quite sure about how to save this poor volunteer's life. Even after a long time since the experiment began, researchers finally find the treatment, but it's too late. We can see over 100 people died in this experiment. I think the experiment is immoral because they cannot ensure the volunteers' life and safety. They just ignore their health and look down volunteers' life. I can agree that they hide the most important information for their volunteers. Second, let's talk about the principle of free and informed consent. I think the researchers do not tell the information at all. They hide the key information. Actually, these volunteers are all educated people, so they can understand these things very clear. First, the researchers do not tell them the procedure of the experiment and the risk of infecting by this disease. And the key point that even they infected by this disease, the researchers do not tell them they are infected, and they do not give them the right treatment at all. And they hide all of the information, so it may limit a participant's ability to make a right choice. Even some accident happens, they do not have the chance to quit this experiment as soon as possible to save their life. If we want to do a similar experiment today, I think first we should know well about the disease, how this disease works in human body based on existing patients, and then choose the suitable pre-test animals to simulate the infection. After we know this disease better, we can continue the experiment on humans. I will use the observational cohort experiment. We recruit 100 patients and 100 health people to take part in this study, and they are observed for several years to see the disease development. I couldn't use the disease to infect the health people. That is why I use this study method. Following this principle of free and informed consent, we should tell the volunteers the whole procedure. The key point is to tell them the risks of the benefits balance of this experiment. We cannot hide any information about the experiment. You must ensure all this information about experiment explained in very clear to the volunteers, no matter whether they have been educated or not. After they understand all the information, let them decide whether they want to participate in the experiment or not. Even some accident happen during the experiment. Do not hide the accident and other things. Tell them to the volunteer. Let them make a decision whether they want to continue or not. No matter what happened, we cannot force them to continue any experiment anymore. Just give them the right of the choice.